I've never told anyone this story out loud, because I know how it sounds. But I still think about it whenever I see a bus idling at night, empty except for the driver. This happened when I was 16. I grew up in a small town where people liked to say nothing bad ever happened. Everyone knew everyone, or at least pretended they did. The kind of place where rumors traveled faster than facts, and anything strange was immediately explained away. At the time, I worked evening shifts at a grocery store just outside town. I didn't have a car yet, so every night I took the last bus home. My shift ended at 10:45 p.m., and the bus came a few minutes after 11. The bus stop was in a bad spot. It sat on a stretch of road near an old factory that had shut down years earlier. The building was still standing, windows boarded up, rust bleeding down the walls. During the day, it just looked abandoned. At night, it felt like something was wrong with it, like the dark one was thicker there. Most nights, it was just me and the driver. Occasionally, someone would get on closer to town, but for the first part of the route, the bus was always empty. I'd sit near the back, put my headphones in, and stare out the window until the lights of town came into view. Then one night in October, everything changed. It was colder than usual, the kind of cold that creeps into your clothes. When I got to the stop, I noticed someone was already there. That never happened. He was tall, wearing a dark jacket, hands shoved deep into his pockets. He stood facing the road, completely still. No phone, no pacing, just waiting. I stopped a few feet away from him. He didn't look at me, didn't acknowledge me at all. The bus pulled up, brakes hissing loudly in the quiet. I stepped on first and nodded to the driver like I always did. As I scanned my pass, I saw the man step on behind me. He didn't sit down. I took my usual seat near the back and watched him through the reflection in the window. He stood near the front, holding one of the poles, a head tilted slightly down. The bus started moving. I waited for him to get off at the next stop. He didn't, or the one after that, or the one after that. At some point, the driver called out, "You good there, man?" No response. The man didn't move, didn't shift his weight, didn't even seem to be breathing. When we reached the main intersection in town where everyone normally got off, I stood up and walked toward the front. As I passed him, something caught my attention. His shoes were soaked. Not damp, not muddy, completely wet, like he'd been standing in water for a long time. There hadn't been any rain that day. I got off the bus and walked home, faster than usual, checking behind me more than once. I didn't relax until I was inside my house with the door locked. The next night, he was there again. Same place at the stop, same jacket, same stillness. This kept happening for almost a week. Every night, he'd board the bus, stand near the front, ignore the driver, and ride past every stop. He never got off, not once. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. One night, I stayed on the bus all the way to the end of the route. The turnaround was a dead-end loop surrounded by trees. No houses, no street lights. The bus stopped. The driver stood up and said loudly, "End of the line." The man didn't move. The driver walked toward him and reached out, clearly annoyed. His hand went straight through the man's arm. I'll never forget the look on his face. He pulled his hand back like he'd been burned and stared at the empty space in front of him. The man was gone. No doors opening, no footsteps. Just gone. The driver didn't say a single word. He sat back down and started driving toward town like nothing had happened. I didn't take the bus again after that. Months later, I overheard someone at the store talking about the old factory. Years earlier, a worker had been hit by a bus on that same stretch of road late at night. They never identified him. He died at the scene. Not long after that conversation, the bus stop near the factory was removed. Sometimes I wonder if the driver remembers that night the way I do. And sometimes when I'm out late and see a bus stopped with no passengers inside, I still catch myself looking at the front, just to make sure no one is standing there.